What is up? I have returned and I'm going to start a series called Smash Player Profile or just Fighting Game Player Profile, either way. So I just kind of want to get into some different players, and I want to start off with one who has been, you probably know of, but just want to give a little bit more background about, is RapMonster. So RapMonster is a teenager from MDVA, I believe like 18 or 19. So either way, has a long career ahead of him potentially. Number 28 on the Melee rank for the full year, I think was number 30 for the summer rank. So didn't go up too much based off of the second half of last year, but still did well. Has been placing well in P+, gets a lot of like top 3 finishes. Usually attends if there's also Melee, and has been doing pretty good. Also enters Ultimate. There was an Ultimate local and a few that he's been entering. Recently beat OJ Wadler, who is a very good Mario, who beat the best Steve in Europe, Crepe Soleil. Also has a bunch of other good wins, which I'm in MDVA and I know about Ultimate, so like a lot of these wins are pretty solid. Matador, Alternus, Joe, etc. Consistent high placings and wins in P+, just really solid. Luigi has a little bit more unique things in P+ compared to Melee. So sometimes there's a bit of an adjustment between games, but overall it's done well. Melee has been crazy though. So I don't think people fully understand how well RapMonster has done. So based off of the rankings since 2022, because I think that's kind of the modern era of Melee, is 9 and 12 against the current or former top 10. A bunch of losses to SCJ, but did take that winner's bracket set. It was Sunset Melee, I think, a recent bracket earlier this year. 2 losses to Wizrobe, even with Crudo. Got a bunch of wins there. Got some Ice Climbers wins. Nikki and Slug did beat Kadoran as well at that tournament where he met SCJ in Winners and Grands. Some losses to Axe, Jmook, and Laud. And also a positive record against the current and former 11 through 25. A win on Junebug at an MDVA local/regional. Positive against Morse Code. I believe at the same tournament as at Nikki was a pre-local for Supernova, I think. Even with Ben, Null, and Chem. And a win on Panda. Does have a loss to Spark and Ginger. That is collectively 17 and 19 for a player outside of the top 25. That is really good. Because a player that's outside of that range maybe has like a few wins. Now, some of these are not quite as strong. I know Slug and Kadoran are not as good as they used to be. Somewhere at pre-locals, whatever. But either way, it's not just a fluke and he's good at the Mars matchup because he's been beating Zane at Thug Finals or online or whatever. I know that's been a big thing, but he's just good. Now, I would say the Puff matchup is probably his hardest, which makes sense. Puff against Luigi doesn't seem super easy. Yeah, you can get some early kills, but Puff has really good air mobility, so your wavelands and all that kind of mix-ups can sometimes just get stuffed out. Really close sets with SCJ. Did lose recently to Zasa, a North Carolina Puff. Which Zasa has a lot of Sidward experience, one of the better Luigis in America right now. So, sometimes there's a matchup check. But also just in general, RapMonster doesn't have that much experience against a lot of these top players. Supernova has been the main opportunity to play some of these guys. I think also Gommel. Gommel's not too far from Maryland to Virginia, but hasn't even played half of the players. So there's been 23 players ranked top 10 since summer 2022, including some summer ranks. He's only played 9 of them. Now there's some online stuff, whatever, but less than half. And a lot of these players are very active. Played less than half of the players that have been top 25 at some point as well. So we could see a lot more. Now, I think Puff is going to still be a tough matchup. I think can still pull out some wins, but comfortable against Spaceys. We see a lot of wins here, going even or slightly beating some of these Spaceys, like Kim, Panda, Ginger, etc. But has a really good track record against Ice Climbers. Frostbite is a Ice Climbers in region. Also just seems to be good at the matchup. That's a counter pick that Ben uses, goes Luigi instead of Sheik. So that's a better matchup. And so Moth or anyone else that is looking to go far with Ice Climbers, be prepared for RapMonster. Seems to be doing okay in the Sheik matchup. A lot of wins off of Crudo. Has some losses to J-Mook and Spark. But seems to just be doing solid. Doesn't have a lot of Falcon experience. That's one thing. Does have 2 losses to Wizrobe, and they were okay. But like Salt and None, even S2J or Gatsu. I think does have a loss to Gatsu. I'm pretty sure. But overall, I think there's a lot of potential for RapMonster. So, and hasn't played a lot of the top players here. Now, has played Zane online and in Thug Finals, but like that, you wouldn't put that into a spreadsheet for like actual data. But hasn't played any, or I guess I left this. This is also, if you switch Cody and Zane, this is the end of year 2025. Top 5 as well. Hasn't played any of them. And then 6, 7, and 8 were game 5 between SCJ, Axe, and J-Mook. And does have that SCJ win as well. So I think there's a lot of people that should be worried. Not just Zane for the matchup, but a lot of players. So make sure you know the Luigi matchup if you're going to enter a tournament. I think that a lot of mid-tiers, people have kind of been coasting because they don't encounter him very much. We've seen DK, even Samus with Morse Code had some good wins here and there. Some Pikachus have been able to show up. Like, you have to be aware of these matchups. And sometimes you start to figure them out. But overall, you got to be careful. So, RapMonster is going to be entering Cav Clash, which is a smaller tournament for Melee. It's Melee Ultimate, but is also going to Genesis. I think also invited to Full House in April. So we're going to see a lot more RapMonster. So just be aware, this Luigi is going to cook. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool to see. All right, see you next time.